Welcome to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. When you find yourself on a new path in life, whether planned or unexpected, you may feel lost and unsure which path to take. Your decisions of how to move forward may be tainted by adversities of your younger life. I will partner with you so you can discover what you need to come home, whether that is a physical home or the home in you. Moving Forward for Life with Rosita starts now. Hey everybody, happy Friday. You are joining us today on Moving Forward for Life with Rosita, Discover Your Way Home. I'm Rosita, your discovery coach and realtor, and I'm humbled to host this podcast. You know, one thing that is certain in life is that there will always be change. And these changes are life events, whether you are getting married, getting divorced, you lost your job, you lost someone you love, your financial circumstance changed. All these are life events, right? And sometimes, also buying and selling a home, I forgot to mention that. Sometimes you find yourself in a new path, whether it is planned or unexpected. What you call home shifts, right? Or it is shattered depending on what the life event is. And you may end up confused or feeling lost and unsure of which path to take. And yes, it is true that transitioning during these life events, it's not always pretty, right? It's not always met with happiness or clarity. And in fact, you can either end up feeling like, again, you're lost, or maybe you're excited because it's a great life change. But one thing is clear: how you process the change in your life will impact the trajectory of how the rest of your life will be, right? As a discovery coach and realtor, I specialize in helping people navigate through these life changes. I partner with you to determine what you call home, whether the home is a physical home or the home in you. What I know is you can choose the trajectory of how your life is going to be. You have that choice. The focus of my shows are going to be either on real estate topics or life coaching. Either show is meant to show you how to move forward in life and not stay stuck. So our topic today is, should I stay or should I go? And my very special guest host is Lehua Banks. Now, Lehua and I met at a Bible study at the Rock Church called Betrayal and Beyond. We were going through some really tough times. It was very painful because we were at a point where we had to decide, should we stay or should we go? Either way was going to come with its own challenges and its own pain. And it was grueling, but community really helped us through having a relationship with God. And we are here today to share with you what our story is, how we got through, and to let you know that you can make a choice, and whichever choice it is, that it is possible to live a life fulfilled, and that you can move forward for your life and fulfill the purpose that you have. Through community and determination and God's help, we, Lehua and I, and many others have overcome. In our show today, we're going to be sharing that. We're going to be sharing how we move from just surviving. Sometimes it was surviving just the day because it was so incredibly painful. Now we are in a place where we are thriving. Our desire in today's show is to bring understanding and awareness for you. And this is just your first step. So let's welcome Lehua Banks as she shares a little bit about herself and talks about betrayal and beyond, because now she leads the group and she's amazing. So Lehua, welcome.
Thank you, Rosita, first of all, for having me. It's a privilege and an honor to be here with you in God's presence, first and foremost. I am a resident now in San Diego, was born and raised in Hawaii. But I moved here in 2006 and I'm still here in 2022. Through that move, there was some ups, some downs, some brokenness, some healing, and through fellowship with other women who have come alongside with Rosita and I in a church-based environment, through a group called FWO, which is for women only who have been betrayed or the betrayer. In a nutshell, I was one of those who was betrayed and attended many of the weekly fellowship alongside with other women, listening to their testimonies, growing from that, knowing that I'm not alone, you're not alone, and that through prayer and fellowship, you can get through whatever circumstance you're going through and pray about it. I am now leading that group after being in it for 2 or 3 years, and have ushered women closer to God and helped them get through what they needed to get through as far as being stuck. Should I stay or should I go?
That was good. Thank you so much. I'm so excited about this podcast. Now, I just want to make it clear that staying or going is not just, a relationship. It could be you want to change your career. You want to, you have problems with a family member and a relationship with them. It could be a friendship. It could be anything where you come to a point in your life where you say, this is too much pain. This doesn't feel right. Now I got to decide whether to stay or go. So Lehua, I was going to ask you, what do you think keeps us stuck right there in the middle, not making a decision to stay or to go?
That is a very, very good question. I was once there, stuck in the muck.
Yes, stuck in the muck. Yes.
Stuck in the muck of things and pulling that tire that is trying to pull a tire through mud. You don't know if you're coming or going, so many ups and downs, so many decisions to make. But when you are aligned with God and you keep it focused, aligned with God only through prayer and through fellowship, you can get through. You can dissect those thoughts, because remember, between our ears is a small space. Mm-hmm. We don't keep those negative thoughts lingering because it weighs us down. So if you can pray it out of this small space, it will soon be removed from that negative pond, and you can begin to replenish, if you mean.
Yeah, I agree. And I just want to say that, I don't know about you, Lehua, but I have tried everything else, right? I've tried tarot cards and crystals, and nothing against that. I'm just saying that for me, what really transformed me and made the shift in my behaviors and my thought process, because like Lehua said, this in between our ears, that is what controls us, the negative self-talk. I call her Negative Nelly, where she shows up every so often trying to tell me who I'm not. Oh, you're not that. Well, who's going to listen to you? But it's important to really get grounded, right? And for me, what grounded me, what transformed me was my relationship with God. That made a huge difference. And the reason why I stayed in situations too long was because I just didn't know what I didn't know. I mean, I didn't know that the behaviors I was exhibiting or the behaviors I was receiving were unhealthy. I just thought that is just life. And we'll talk about unhealthy, give you some examples of unhealthy behaviors and how we got past it. But the joy that Lehua and I have, it's not from, and I tried counseling too. Nothing wrong with counseling, but EMDR and a relationship with God, that really flipped my script and changed the trajectory of my life. So, Lehua, do you want to talk about, let's dig into it. Let's talk about.
Let's go deep, as our friend Hope would say. Let's go deep into it. Let's do this.
Let's dig.
Yes.
So let's give some examples of unhealthy behaviors and healthy behaviors. And then after that, we'll go into tips on how to deal with all that.
Sounds good to me.
Okay, so do you want to start with the unhealthy one?
Oh, so one of the unhealthy ones would be betrayal. When someone is disloyal or acts in an intentionally dishonest way.
Yeah.
That's one of them.
Yeah. So an example of betrayal would be somebody that you are in relationship with and they're not telling the whole truth, right? And you know, your intuition is saying, that's not, no, something's missing in that story. And you find out later what was missing.
Yeah.
And that's where that betrayal comes from, right?
Yes. Yes.
So that's an unhealthy behavior to look out for. But the healthy behavior that kind of goes side by side is trust.
Amen.
You have to be able to have confidence in the person that you're having relationship with. You have to trust that they're not going to do anything to ruin the relationship.
Right.
And so I'd like to start with the second unhealthy behavior because it's so near and dear to my heart. It is deflecting responsibility. Oh my gosh, it's when somebody repeatedly makes excuses for their unhealthy behavior. You know, like I want you to think about if you ever came to somebody and said, you know, when you did this, it really hurt my feelings. And you just want to talk about it and get understanding. But a person who is deflecting responsibility will say, oh, that didn't happen. Oh, that's just in your mind. I can't help how you feel. That's not on me. That is someone who's deflecting responsibility. And what's the other side of that, Lehua?
So that would be taking responsibility. You know, both owning your actions and words. Avoid placing blame.
That's a big one.
Avoid placing blame. Especially after you told the person how it made you feel, right? The manipulation kicks in. Like, really? You're going to do that to me after I told you how I feel?
The vulnerability of it all. Yes. Yeah.
You got to admit when you make a mistake. Yeah. First of all, it's forgiving when you do that. It just stops a lot of things from happening.
Right.
And genuinely apologize. The forgiveness is for you when you apologize.
Yeah. Yeah.
And continually to try to make positive changes to better your relationship. That's one way, apologizing right away.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's how you can tell some of those things that we mentioned. Is the relationship healthy? Well, if these things, the betrayal, the deflecting responsibility is in it, and then, the last thing is the belittling.
Oh,
touch upon that?
Belittling? Belittling. When someone does and says things to make you feel bad about yourself. It's so painful and so hurtful. It's traumatizing.
Right? Over and over again.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. So what would be, Rosita, the positive side to belittling?
Man, when you have someone that believes in you, always encourages you to keep doing what you're doing, someone who could put a smile on your face and love you for who you are. That's respect. RESPCT. Now those are some of the unhealthy and healthy behaviors. And we want to, give you guys some tips and resources. And actually, I will send out a list of books to read. You can read them on Audible, but I'll post it on my website or on my Facebook so you guys can start looking at some of the things that we've read and what what helped us. So let's talk about some tips and how we got through those unhealthy behaviors, Lehua.
Okay. I will tell you through finding the group FWO, again, through the church I currently go to, the Rock Church. It's for women only, again. Through listening to other women's testimony, what they went through and how they got through, helped me look at myself, look at what's happening in my relationship. How is it that that person got through such devastation? And I'm sitting here complaining about me. If she can do it, so can I. So one would be listening to other women who needed to be heard at the time, sharing their testimony, and knowing also that just because you go to church doesn't mean that you're okay. Even if you go to church, things happen, life happens.
Hey, we're all human.
Yes.
Stuff happens in the muck.
Yes. Yes. Through self-wellness. Can I just tell you, that was a pivotal point for me, self-wellness. Through prayer, sometimes even sitting still. Just sitting still with the Lord and being quiet, allowing him to take care of us for change. So yes, self-wellness. There's so many things in San Diego to do for free. A walk on the beach.
Yeah.
A picnic with yourself and the Lord. A pedicure, a manicure, massage.
Now you're talking.
Yes. And even a simple drive with your windows down and the radio on.
Yes. So for me, what I had to do was shift my focus, right? Because a lot of times, especially as women, I mean, I guess this is just how we're made. We focus on the problem. And then we rehearse it by telling other women, oh, guess what happened to me? Oh, he said this, and then he did this. And you're feeding that back into yourself.
Yes. Yes.
So what I had to do was shift my focus. Because I was like, a lot of times when we do stuff like that, we live in victimville. I heard that somewhere.
Ooh.
Victimville is like you stay there, you have pity parties and stuff like that. And I get it. Hey, I was president of Victimville for many, many years. I did not want to leave. But I got to a point where it was like, I had to learn to love me. Everything about me, except me, all the good, the bad, and the not so pretty. And now I can stand in the fabulous of who God made me to be. So, but that takes work. You got to study yourself, which means you can't have any distractions. You got to be one-on-one, just be still, find out what makes you tick. Why do you get so upset about this situation, right? Unpack your core values and what do you want in a relationship? What are your needs? Sometimes as women, we don't understand what our needs are because we're so busy taking care of everybody else. And there comes a time where you have to stop and say, wait, I don't even honor myself. I don't even love myself. And that manifests in our tone, in our anger, and we put that out, that's what comes back.
Yes.
So you cannot give what you do not have.
Yes.
If you do not love yourself, you cannot genuinely and authentically give love to someone else. So spend time studying yourself, loving on yourself, nurturing yourself. What else, Lehua?
To love thyself is so important. I heard this just recently. I am 50 something years old, but I have to say that I'm just now learning to love thyself. It's so important.
Yes.
And how do you love thyself? You spend time with yourself. You look for things that are positive from people, through reading, through a sermon. Oh God, through sermons. Can I just say how many sermons I've listened to help get through what we needed to get through?
Oh, let me tell. And then there's some days, right, where it's heavy. You wake
Yeah.
up just heavy. You feel, oh God, I just want to stay in bed. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to get the remote and stay in bed. And I had to make myself get out of bed on those days. And then
Yeah.
I have a dance off. I just put on some praise music and just dance, because that energy, it will come inside of you. But you have to decide, are you going to feed that pain and that hurt and that negativity, or are you going to move forward and do something to shift from being negative and in victimville and moving to a place that's full of, I don't know, possibilities. Let's just put it like that. Do a dance off when it gets
Right.
on those bad days.
And let's not forget that other people's actions does not belong to us.
Yeah.
If they're being messy, they're being messy. What we can do is pray from a distance that a change will take place.
Yes.
And sometimes we take that on, we carry that, other people's actions, what they did. But you know what? At the end of the day, if you're happy and you found yourself and you're okay with what's going on in your daily life,
Yeah.
keep it simple. Just keep it simple.
Kiss it. Keep it simple.
Yes.
So I want to share with you why it's so important that you begin to understand the unhealthy, healthy behaviors, understand who you are, nurture yourself. Studies have shown that stress affects your mind and body, but to me, it also affects your future. Some ways that it can affect your body is your immune system, or you're indecisive, or you can't, you have a lack of focus or lack of confidence. You're messing up your future if you keep in that mess, in that muck and mire, right? So we are actually coming close to the end of our show. We have so much more to say.
Wow.
So I want to thank you, Lehua, for joining me today. I appreciate your vulnerability and sharing all that you have shared with us. It's been invaluable, and it's been amazing to not just be with you in the battlefield, but to come off of the battlefield and see both of us thriving.
Yes.
Thank you for joining me.
It's been a pleasure, Rosita. Thank you so very much for having me.
Yeah. And so I want to tell you guys, call me at 619-665-9086. 619-665-9086. Let me help you navigate through buying or selling or even investing in a home. And then you can go to my website at movingforwardforlife.com, schedule your free 1-hour complimentary consultation. And hey, just a heads up, in the summertime, I'm going to be rolling out my 3-month program, and it's going to be called Discover the Beauty in You. It's going to be for 3 months. It's only going to be 4 women per group, so that we can really dig and understand just a lot of stuff, right? When you have a smaller group of women, you tend to be more vulnerable, to be more open. And that's when you can really get some value. So instead of having a huge group, I'm going to take it down to like 4 women. So if you are interested, and if you liked our podcast, please go and like it, reach out to us and give us some comments on the show. We'd love to hear from you. And if you missed the live version, go to my YouTube channel at Rosita Perez McLaurin. Lehua, you're on Facebook as well, right?
I am on Facebook and Instagram. What?
And reach out to her on this Betrayal and Beyond program. It is amazing.
Oh, yes, it is.
One way to focus on you is to find out, study you. Study why you are triggered by certain things, right? I'm also on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I mean, I'm trying to dip everywhere so
It's
I can
under Lehua Banks if you're
Lehua
looking
Banks.
for Betrayal and Beyond.
Okay. Yeah. So reach out to either one of us if you have questions. If you, just need a listening ear, we can chat with you and give you some resources as well. So my next show will be April 8th. It will be a continuation of Should I Stay or Should I Go on Transformation Talk Radio Live or recorded version on my YouTube, Rosita Perez McLaurin. Have a great Friday. Thank you so much for joining us. And we will see you next couple of weeks, right? We got a couple of weeks before we meet again. Thank you for listening to Moving Forward for Life with Rosita. Discover your way home. With me, Rosita Perez McLaurin. Through my own personal healing journey, I've come out stronger and braver. I know firsthand how hard, how lonely, and heartbreaking it is to continually live in pain. I will help you learn to face the good, the bad, and the not so pretty parts of yourself so you can uncover the fabulous in you. Join me every second and fourth Friday at 12:30 p.m. Pacific.